Welcome back, everyone, to Recorder on the Wall, where we are going through every single Redwall book. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Pete, and don't forget the cartoons.
I tried to.
Who else we got with us, guys?
I'm Matthias 720.
I'm Scars.
And with us on the show is one of the people attached to the Lost Legends of Redwall that just came out, 2 months ago now? Perhaps?
Something like that.
This is Carla Mack. She's one of the voice actors from the game.
Hello, hello.
Welcome on the show.
Welcome
Hello.
to the world of today.
Woohoo. Well, I guess in a sense you kind of have my characters in here too.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
So, as with our interview with Soma, we're going to first ask you a couple questions, and then we'll actually talk about Outcast, and then we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
So I'm curious, how did you get involved with voice acting?
Well, as a little tyke, every kid loves cartoons, and everybody wants to be a cartoon and stuff. So I did whatever I could growing up to try to make that happen. So, I drew flip books and stuff, and got some money from graduating high school and stuff from the school. So I just took that money over into an animation course, a classical animation course. So I thought, hey, I'm going to draw cartoons for a living. And did really well in that. But then the whole computer animation stuff started to take over. So that was like really expensive back in the day. And so then I decided I would kind of break out of my shell a little bit. I did some theater in high school and stuff, and thought that I would just pursue that more. So I took a whole whack of theater classes and stuff, and acting for film and television and whatnot. Did a little bit of producing and everything as well, and decided to give voice acting a try. And I found out I was quite good at it, so I just kept, going on with that more and more training. And it's just starting to kick off now for paid gigs wise.
Well, I'm good. I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you.
It's one of my favorite podcasts, actually, before it became paid only, was Rob Paulson's Talkin' Tunes, where he talked about the voice actor industry.
Yes.
And
I met him once.
I understand he's a lot of fun. So.
He is a lot of fun. He's I met him over at a convention and stuff with my daughter, and Maurice was there as well. We had so much fun. We were doing improv together. We were just having a lovely time.
Very good. And
Sorry.
so what kind of acting do you like the best? I mean, you mentioned you've been in live theater.
Yep.
You're obviously in the voice acting world. Have you done any other parts out there?
Yeah, I live over in an area where there's lots of filming going on. So I've done some TV and movies, just like little parts. And then student films and stuff as well, and a little bit of voiceover for commercials.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of dabbled in a whole bunch of stuff. So it's great to have all of that kind of stuff under my belt. Makes you very versatile.
So, I know we asked you this before we actually started recording, but how much of the Redwall series have you read before Lost Legends became a thing?
I read it when the books first started to come out when I was little, and haven't really touched on them since. And I know that my little brothers, they watch the cartoons, so in a way I watch some of the cartoons with them. But it's been a while since I thought about it. Since I thought until this whole game thing started to come around.
Yeah. Now, I say this with full understanding that if you can't tell us because of NDAs or any other kind of legal requirement, totally cool.
Right.
But how did you audition or get hired with Lost Legends?
A bunch of my friends know that I'm into voiceover stuff. So they found out through friends of theirs, and also on the Soma Games and Redwall Facebook pages. They had an open casting call.
Oh.
So I went through that. I auditioned for Sophia and Tessa and came within the top 5 for both of those. So that was cool. But they have to get approved and whatnot through not just Soma Games, but the Random House Publishing as well. And didn't make it. They sent me a message. I didn't make the cut, but they'll be having more auditions. So then I got the casting call for the next round of auditions, and again got into the top 5. And then they sent me a message for that I was hired for Dorabella, so I got her first. And it just kind of blossomed from there.
I'm curious. Had you listened to, or does Soma Games work? Did they even touch on any of the audiobooks that had come out for how you?
No, sometimes it's better. I've found for auditions and stuff if there's like previous material. Sometimes it's better not to get that in your head when you're auditioning because they want like freshness and all that kind of stuff, and not just somebody that can copy. If they have any notes with like, oh, maybe if you do it kind of like this person does, or try to sound like this person, then you can go back to it. To that kind of material. Otherwise, just it's more creative. You're not limiting yourself if you're just listening to like one of the audiobooks or just the cartoon or whatever.
Well, I was gonna say
Your
I definitely.
imagination's better.
I definitely agree with that. I do amateur community theater out where I am, and one of the advice I got from an acting class I take at a local community college was, yeah, if you want to look up a monologue or what have you, just to kind of look at how someone's handled that character, that's all well and good, but don't go to the music. Don't audition for the Music Man and try to be Robert Preston. You will never do it.
Exactly. That's it, exactly. So yeah, I try to apply that for all of the audition stuff that I do.
I'm actually in a production of It's a Wonderful Life right now, so.
Oh, lovely.
Playing Sam Rainwright.
I was
Thankfully,
gonna ask, who are you playing?
Sam Rainwright. If those of you all of us who have kind of absorbed that movie by cultural osmosis, he's the guy, annoying little git who says hee haw all the time. But thankfully, our script does not include that, because I would have told the director, I'm not saying this.
Oh, come on. You're not going to try to throw it in there at some point?
No. When I was a kid and I was watching, every once at Christmas watching that movie, I hated that character and I wanted to reach to the TV and punch him back then. So I'm not going to do that now.
And now you get to play him.
Yeah, I do.
Lucky you.
So, guys, I'm still monopolizing questions here. Do you guys have anything before I go down my list? Or want to take one of them from my list?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. You kind of already partially answered this. Which, just for the amateur actors who might be listening, how much, when you walk into... for Soma Games at least, do they have you actually go to a booth, or did you record it at home, or how did that process happen?
All of the recording is done at home.
Oh, okay.
They have talent from all over the world. There's some Brits, there's Americans, Canadians. I'm not sure if there was an Australian in there somewhere too. But yeah, they're from all over, and so it's a lot cheaper for Soma Games to not have to fly us down to Oregon to go and get that. Yeah.
Or even just pay travel to a local studio. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, studios can be expensive and stuff, but that was one of the requirements and stuff, was that we had really good recording equipment. It's actually starting to become more of the norm for things is to have your recordings done at home. which is nice because you can do it in your PJs if you want to.
Well, I won't lie and say I haven't done. I do most of our podcast recording in, well, t-shirt and shorts. So yeah.
You mean you don't dress up in a tuxedo or anything?
No. No one ever sees our faces, so.
No.
It's great.
So you can wear underwear.
Freeing, isn't it?
Well,
And just underwear.
I wonder what some of my neighbors think when I'm recording some of this stuff. Because
well,
one of my
probably
characters
just worried about what you're thinking of them.
What? Say again?
Oh, go ahead.
Nothing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I always wonder if people hear me record, like when I do have the window open here, if people ever hear us recording this podcast or other podcast, especially on our other podcast, where randomly I'll go into shouting rants.
Well, I think the ISS made.
Shouting rants.
I think the International Space Station complained once when we had issues with our recording software. So.
Yeah, I wonder because I've had to do like screaming and yelling, shouting, and all these other things, trying to spur fights on. And I know my dog gets worried, but yeah, I wonder what my neighbors think.
One of the neat things to come out of the what you call abridging out on YouTube of all these fans taking old cartoons and recasting them. Mm-hmm. Some of these voice actors involved in those projects actually do record themselves with a webcam recording the lines. And
yes,
there's a particular one, Nowacking, who plays in Pokemon Abridged and is in Hellsing Abridged. And there's a scene where she recorded where she gets pretty grievously injured and had to act that out. And her cat immediately jumped into her lap, wanted to make sure she was okay. And I just started laughing.
I remember. Go ahead.
I've had to do just for my latest stuff for the Redwall game. I've had to do falling noises and noises as if I'm getting hit and all these kind of things. And we have to, when we're recording, we have to keep it going. We don't edit ourselves. We don't do anything. We just keep it going. So you get the flood, you get your tongue ties, you get your all of that kind of stuff in there. So when I was making those noises, noises, my dog comes right on over checking to see if I'm okay. And it's just you're right in my mic area. So they've got recordings of me telling my dog in various character voices to go and sit down. So they might have a gag reel type thing for it and stuff later. So I'm pretty sure that some of that will probably get put in there.
That's not uncommon in video games. There's a very infamous recording of what's her name, who plays Cortana on the Halo series and the Windows 10, Jennifer or something.
Oh God, I know the name. Hang on, I'll look it up while you.
There's a very famous blooper of her trying to get one little line from a trailer that the material didn't even make it into Halo 2, and she can't do it, and it's 3 minutes of her and her voice director just kind of laughing over this.
Oh no!
I mean,
Jen Taylor.
Jen Taylor, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But so when you come to voice acting characters, since it really is just you and a mic, and even the great James Earl Jones say this is the most difficult kind of acting.
It is. Yeah.
What kind of motivation or process do you get yourself into character with?
I improvise, do some improv with my character voices, just to try to get into their heads so that I'm out of mine. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be in your head. You don't want to go, oh gosh, that sounds so bad. You just want to keep going, and you want to do so it's just best to stay out of your head and just kind of be your character a little bit. It's kind of like what is it? Not quite method acting, but
yeah,
almost, but I do that. I mean, some of them, like, well, for Redwall, obviously they're in accents because obviously I'm not speaking with a British accent. And so you get these little trigger phrases. You pick out a trigger phrase that will automatically get you into that kind of voice. Like my trigger phrase for Dorabella is "yes," and that automatically will put me in her voice. That's all I have to do.
You broke Matthias.
I did. I broke somebody already.
That was me. Oh,
No,
my
I'm laughing
goodness.
too.
Very good.
I was going to sound like a two-stroke engine trying to start.
What, is there a one for Dorabella you can think off the top of your head? Or...
That's the Dorabella one.
Oh, Daisy Mace.
Girls! Yes. Daisy Mace is just hang on a second. Let me see for Daisy Mace. I've got neighbors walking by already. Hang on. Daisy Mace.
Oh, I'm just going to chop you up and get a new fur coat out of ya.
That was almost Clooney-esque. Very good.
Her voice
goodness.
is a little harder on the throat, but
yeah,
I can imagine.
And she's quite the murderous, feisty, cunning one. Very, very different from Dorabella.
That's not one of the voices you really want to do a whole lot, is it?
Well, I've had to use some of what is it, Gollum juice, you know?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
Yes. I looked it up.
Yeah, Andy Serkis, he for those of you who have never heard of this phrase before, Andy Serkis has that that will well live on that
wow,
performance.
you're turning into a robot on me.
And he literally basically lived on this honey blend of pretty much every day of filming for Lord of the Rings and called it his Gollum juice. So.
Yeah.
Maybe I should try that next time, Pete.
You
Next
don't
time you
want
want
to
me
have
to do
water.
Pete, maybe I should try the next time you want me to start doing that Macho Man voice again. Brother. Yeah.
Take it down. Yeah, brother. All day, every day. Get swole, get big.
Yeah.
I feel like another one of those voices that would have been hard to keep your voice healthy would have been Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
Don't have any full water or anything.
You broke up a little there. No worries. But yeah, Dr. Claw is voiced by Frank Welker, who is like the god of voice actors. So, if again, I'm borrowing from Rob Paulson's podcast, but he's the only one who actively turns roles down in the industry because he simply does not have the time. He's that much in demand.
Yeah.
You're still breaking up a bit there, brother.
I believe that for sure. Uh-oh. It says I have poor network connection.
Okay, well, let's get this. We'll get one last question. So,
why?
Do you have any
Be fine.
Do you have any advice for any good aspiring voice actors themselves? And
get lots of training. Train. And when you're, driving around and you see advertisement billboards or what, like, read them out. Don't be afraid to talk to yourself. Robin Williams was one of my idols, so whenever I'm going up for an audition or something, I pop in his I pop in his Good Morning Vietnam soundtrack because that has a lot of his improv on it and a whole bunch of different voices. And I just, just sound that out. Just copy him and just play it out, and it works. Also, the Nightmare Before Christmas, This Is Halloween song, that has a lot of differences in it. That's very helpful too.
It's funny you mention that because I actually use Jack's Lament as my musical audition when I do local theater.
That is such a great song. That is such a great song. And Danny Elfman, wow, who knew he had such pipes?
Well, the reason I pick it out for my musical audition is because you don't see a lot of people, auditioning for community theater with like a sad song. It's mostly
Yes.
Oh, you'll see popular if for most of the women I see from Wicked or pick a Tony musical here. So, but there's at least in my experience, not a lot of people actually will take one that shows vulnerability. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's such a good one to do. Plus, it's unique. As you said, not everybody uses it, so it helps you to get remembered.
Yep. Okay. Well, I think that covers my questions. Guys, do you have any others to add on that?
I don't think so. No.
Not that I can think of. Sorry.
Okay.
No worries.
Well, we'll go ahead and close the interview here. Now, I'm going to split the episodes here. So, Carla, it really is up to you. If you'd like to stick around for when we talk about Outcast Book 2, you're more than welcome to. If not, no worries. So.
All right. You guys take care. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for coming on and sharing.
Yes. Sharing is caring.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye.